Now, time to recap this week in business, and for a little help with that, let's bring in Jen and the Money Man, Executive Vice President of the Commonwealth Foundation, Jennifer Stefano, business and markets analyst and NewsMax contributor Seth Denson, and America's accountant professor Dan Geltrude. Good morning to everybody. All right, so I want to get right to this.
He's kind of a professional, Carl. We don't, ish.
We'll give him half credit for showing his work. All right, so President Biden, all right, this guy, he met with the CEOs and representatives from all these industries to discuss his $1.7 trillion Build Back legislation. All right, that's how much of a disaster this is. How can big business help fight inflation, though? I mean, this is the problem here, Seth, is we have supply chain issues, we have inflation, we have massive instability in the markets and uncertainty with everything else. How do they do it, Seth?
Well, listen, let's start with the fact that I think Biden's just looking for a friendly audience. He can't get Congress to do it. So, I don't know, maybe go somewhere else and tell a story. They can't. Listen, this is all about the American worker at this point. Mm-hmm. We got to get the American worker back at work. That's what's going to solve inflation. Oh, and maybe pull in Jerome Powell to get the Fed to start actually doing their job and raise interest rates when we get inflation under control. But no, this big business guys, they don't have the power to do it.
Yeah, but Jen, here's another thing, too, is Joe Biden met with some big bank executives the other day. He said, we're probably going to slap some sanctions on Russia. Does this play into the whole instability of the markets more?
Sure. I think the Biden administration is seen by the American people largely as an incompetent administration. I mean, only 5% of Americans actually think he's doing a better than expected job. His approval ratings are
so bad.
The lowest, right?
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is that he had all, big corporations that most of them pay millions of dollars to K Street lobbyists to lobby the White House and Congress for exactly these type of corporate bailouts. And if you read the transcripts, these CEOs are boo-hooing for more corporate welfare for off the backs of taxpayers. Now, when President Trump met with CEOs in 2017, he met with companies like Channel Lock, which is a small business here in Pennsylvania, right? It built and manufactures in the community that employs the people. Main Street employs 70% of the American workforce. That's who should have been represented at the White House, but wasn't. Most unfortunate.
Well, that's the other thing, Dan, is we've seen during this pandemic, Big Pharma has minted almost almost a dozen new billionaires during this whole thing. But this is my problem. All this is government in general. I think government is just garbage. They take your money, they light it on fire, they flush the ashes down the toilet. This is one of those things where Joe Biden says, look, I've had all these conversations with people. I don't care about conversations, Dan. I don't care about meetings. I care about what is the deliverable at the end of the day. Are my prices going up or down?
Look, it's laughable when Joe Biden claims to be a capitalist. He is anything but that. Right. The best thing that Joe Biden and this administration can do is get out of the way, right? Let the American workers get back to work. Let's let our small businesses and our large corporations do what they do. If we would just allow this economy to be unleashed, supply would start to meet demand, and we would be in a heck of a lot better situation because we would be able to reduce inflation, which is strangling everyone and every business out there.
Well, Dan, Elon Musk, a guy who knows a thing or two about, the economy and business and how to make things succeed, he said Biden yesterday was a damp sock puppet in human form. I mean, this doesn't ensure the markets any more stability, does it?
I don't think so. Listen, I think there's a lot of CEOs that may think the way Elon Musk does as far as Joe Biden goes. I'm not sure anyone else would want to say it, but I think the message here is Joe Biden is doing next to nothing, and what he is doing is economically damaging, and I think that message is clear, and the markets hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely insane. Jen, real quick, though, I got about a minute left. We're seeing all this stuff. He parks himself in front of a broken bridge. He talks to all these people. But at the end of the day, is anybody fooled by this?
No, I think the American people have made it very clear because the president's approval ratings are so far underwater, you will need to send the Titanic out to find them. He is largely unpopular, and he will pay for it in the midterms. These midterms, as President Obama would say, are going to be a shellacking, I think, for his administration.
Yeah. Plus, the rising interest rates are on the horizon. They said they're probably going to do it. The markets have just been going absolutely bananas on this, so we're going to have to follow. Jen and the Money Man, appreciate it. Thanks so much for staying with us today. All right, coming up.